Hi there, I'm Andy Wood, and before we get started, I want to tell you a quick story, true story. It's about a friend of mine who graduated from high school here in Alabama, where I live now, and went off to Missouri to go to college. And when he started as a freshman there, like every other school on the planet, he had to go through a week of orientation where there was one meeting after another meeting after another meeting, and he was responding about like most freshmen do when they head off to freshman orientation. He was excited and he was bored at the same time. And so there was one particular meeting where this friend of mine was listening to a presentation being given by actually the president of the college. And he was welcoming everyone and talking about, what a great institution they were at and all those things. And my friend had just about had enough, and he was sitting in the back, and he started cutting up with some of his friends back there and making jokes and kind of mocking the president a little bit. And right in front of him, this lady turns around and looks at him and says, "Young man, do you know who I am?" And he said, "Well, no, ma'am." She said, "I'm the president's wife." And he said, without batting an eye, "Well, do you know who I am?" And she said, "Well, no." He said, "Good, let's keep it that way." Well, true story, but that's not what I want you to experience from me. I really do want you to know who I am, and I want you to know what I'm about, what this, ultimately what this course is about, and how you and I can flourish and prosper as we work together. I'm definitely excited about getting to know you, but I want you to get to know me a little bit too. And so there's a few things I just want to share with you about me personally in this video. I said a minute ago I'm an Alabama boy. I've actually been gone for a long time, but just recently moved back to Mobile, Alabama, where I happen to grow up. And this is what I do full-time. I teach full-time online, and I teach leadership. And what I absolutely love about leadership is the fact that it's a multidisciplinary course and a multidisciplinary kind of program, and so we can learn things from each other across many different disciplines and many different fields. And that's what I absolutely love about this program. You can learn some things if you're in church leadership from people in the business world. You can learn some things if you're in educational leadership from people in the military. And all across every imaginable discipline, we get to come together and trade ideas, trade philosophies, learn what the best research has taught us about the difference between effective and ineffective leadership. And that's something I'm very passionate about, because I believe, it's not just a cliche, I really believe that we live in a world that's starving for a whole new generation of leaders who get it, who understand how to seize the gap between what is and what ought to be, and somehow bridge that gap and marshal and influence a new generation of people to make a difference, first of all in the kingdom of God, but even beyond that in the world in which we live. So, several things I want you to know about me. I've been doing some form of leadership really ever since I started in church world, which was a long time ago. I served in different churches in different capacities in church leadership for about 32 years. I've been teaching now online since 2010 full-time, and prior to that, for a long time, I was doing both. I was serving in church leadership and I was also teaching. And this is just a field that I absolutely am crazy about, and I'm excited about working with you in that arena. Okay, now let me tell you 3 things you need to know about me as a teacher. First of all, you need to know that I keep an ongoing set of 2 files. One of those is a file of my favorite quotations, things that just blew me away. I love good writing, and when I see something on a paper or in a discussion board that a student writes that just has an incredible way of expressing some kind of compelling truth, man, I'm all over that. I keep a collection of those things. Every once in a while on my blog site, I post a set of those, and I just love great writing. And who knows, you may wind up in my favorite student quotes file. But there's another file I keep too, a file that, for lack of a better word, let's call it, did he just say that? And it's stuff that, well, let's just say you don't want to wind up in that file. I keep it just to kind of keep us all humble and to realize that, you know what, even in something as serious as the things that we study, every once in a while you need to come up and laugh. And, well, yeah, I don't keep names on this file. I just keep quotes of crazy, unusual things that people may say. Let's hope you stay out of that file, but even if you do wind up writing something that goes in that file, I won't attach your name to it. We'll just hang on to it for good, clean fun. Second thing you need to know about me is I'm the so what guy. Now, I love theory. I love research. I do a lot of it. I sit on doctoral committees for doctoral students who are doing all this research. I believe it's important. But at the end of the day, I'm the guy who wants to know, so what? What is this research? What are these best practices? What are all these ideas going to do to help change somebody's life? How can people take these things and use them in a functional, practical way? You send me an amazing paper that's loaded down with theory and good stuff, good research. I'm still looking for the so what. I'm just wired that way. I want to know that you know that what we're talking about here has real life, down-to-earth, practical application that people can take and change their churches, change their businesses, change their organizations, change their world. Third thing you need to know is I actually read your papers. And if you write really good stuff, I actually rave about them. I jump up and down, well, sort of, on your paper and tell you how amazing you are. And if it's not so good, I tell you that too. And I just want you to know that your key to success, as far as I'm concerned, in online education, rises and falls with your ability to write. And so I want to challenge you. Write well, I will read well, and we will together learn some things. Okay, let me tell you 4 things real quick I'm very passionate about. Number 1, first and foremost, cut above everything else, Jesus Christ. He went to a cross. He died on that cross for my sin, and my sin was so great. And yet, even more importantly, he rose from the dead. He's alive today. He's King of Kings. He's Lord of Lords. And everything you and I do in this class, everything we do in our lives, everything is a response somehow to him, to his life, his death, his ministry, his resurrection, his lordship. A second thing I'm passionate about is taking truth, real truth from God's Word, from research, from the places we find it, taking truth and applying that truth to people's lives. I am a truth seeker and a truth teacher, and I love to unpack the implications of the things that we study and learn how we can make a difference with that truth in other people's lives. A third thing I'm passionate about, writing. I'm a very passionate writer. Check this out, www.lifevesting, LIFEVESTING.com. That's my blog site. I want to invite you to go to it. I try to post on it 3 times a week. Sometimes I'll share some of those insights in our coursework if it's relevant. But I'm very passionate about writing, about communicating truth, not just verbally, but also with my fingertips. And so something I just dearly love to do. And so I invite you to check that out. And the fourth thing that I'm passionate about, way on down the list, but still real high on my passions list, and that is if the University of Alabama happens to be playing football, yeah, my dog goes to the other room. He's learned. Well, I'm just sometimes not real nice to be around. Atlanta Braves baseball, big Braves fan. Just growing up here in the South, those are the 2 teams that I'm pretty passionate about. You've probably got your favorites too, and that's okay. There is grace for that. But anyway, those are my 4 passions. Let me wrap all this up and tell you about a word that you won't find in the dictionary, but it's a word that's near and dear to my heart. It's the word Madisel, M-A-D-I-S-E-L. And it's not in the dictionary because, well, the Webster people don't think it's a real word. And it's really not, except that I made it up, so now it is one. And it's an acronym. M-A-D-I-S-E-L. Madisel stands for make a difference in someone else's life. And that's what drives me. That's what compels me. That's what makes me want to work with people. That's what makes me want to teach. That's what makes me want to preach or share truth or sit across the table from someone and listen and encourage. My passion is to make a difference in other people's lives. And I pray that over the next few weeks as we study together, as we do the stuff that's necessary in this class, I hope more than anything you recognize that in Jesus and in his love, we can make a difference in each other's lives, and together Because of that, we can make a difference in the world. And that goes so far beyond papers and quizzes and textbooks and the things that are a part of this course alone. My prayer is that the difference we make in each other's lives over the next few weeks transcends all of that, so that throughout eternity, we're still standing on the difference we made. So, glad you're a part of this class. Glad I get to work with you. Looking forward to getting to know you just as well.